What am I going to draw? Okay. Good evening, guys. My name is ScribbleToons, cartoon illustrator and animator. I'm going to give you a little tutorial about the way I like to draw. I like to use a program called Paint or Sai. I find it's very usable for my style of drawing. So here's Paint or Sai, open, and the first thing you want to do is open a new document. I use the preset A4, which is a standard UK printing size, and for most digital means that is actually a fairly decent size to give you a very big picture. You don't need very much more, especially if your image is only going to be used for upload. Now I zoom in to about 33% and I select a blue colour, and the reason for that is because that is the colour that my animation tutor told me to use. So I'm going to draw a person today, and what I like to do is start with a round circle like this and then do the old cross hatch here. And what I'm going to draw is a female character from one of my comic series. So I'm going to start by drawing the rough face shape like this. Add the neck in. Don't worry too much about the hair just yet. And then add some shoulders like this. Body shape. Make it really rough and easy. It doesn't really matter how rough it is at this stage. At the moment you're just getting a feel of the medium, and that is all I want to draw. Just there. Add in the eyes, get a rough feel of where the eyes are going to be, nose, and a little bit of the hairline here, so that I know what she's doing. There we go, and that's all I want to have for the rough sketchwork, just a brief overview of what it is I have. You can go into as much detail or as little detail as you like when you get to this stage. Nobody's actually going to see this particular part of the drawing when you release it, because this is just you to do the working. And make a new layer. It's very important to make a new layer because you want to make sure that you can delete all of this line art underneath and that it's gone from view. Select a black colour. I want to do it in black. You don't have to do it in black, you can do it in whatever colour you like. I'm choosing black for this particular one, and what I do is I actually start with the head again, bring it down and around, a little bit more slower, a little bit more controlled this time. I'm not actually even sure if I want to looking in one direction. I might move this eye closer in, just like that, and add this like here. There we go. Drop the hair in. I like to use quite quick gestures when I draw, and I like everything to be a little bit more rough and sketchy. That is the particular style that I've gone to. I might like to add that when you're drawing, you should aim to draw in your style. Don't try and copy a illustrator or an animator that you admire to the key, because that's their style, that's what they draw, that's what makes them them. You should be looking at drawing as you draw. This is your style, your picture, remember. People want your drawing. What you should be doing is looking at these animators and illustrators as inspiration for your drawing. See what they do, see how they do it, see if you can use that in your own drawing. Now what I quite like to do is add a few little lines like this. It looks a little messy at now, but what I'm going to do is make a new layer and block in the hair with a bigger brush. I have half a dozen different styles of drawing in, and it's really, when it comes down to it, it's just whatever I feel like drawing. I tend to always draw this particular character in this way. I've changed her design many times throughout the last couple of years, and this is sort of what I'm drawing her in at the moment. Okay, so there she is. Not really sure what's going on the top of her head at the moment, so I'm just going to edit that down. At this point I like to add the little white dot to the eye. You don't have to add the white dot, but notice how immediately the image becomes more alive. She becomes a person, not a dead person, and that is very important. Most people will say the little white dot in the eye is actually very key to making an image alive, if it's a person or a living creature. New layer again, and here is where I now colour it in. To get a little bit of depth, I pick a sort of a pinky kind of colour, and I actually choose sort of key areas on the face here and block them in like that. I then use the watercolour tool inside to sort of blur that in like that, and there we go. It looks a little messy at the moment, but don't worry, it'll be tidied up in a minute. Add the white for the eye, here we go. And now she's going to wear a yellowy kind of jumper. I am using a graphics tablet, and that helps a lot. Using a mouse is very difficult. You don't get anywhere near the same amount of control as you would get with a mouse. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to crop the image, and there's a lot of empty white space, as you can see here. There's no need for that, so I'm going to crop the image. There we go, and it makes the image a little bit more up close and personal. Now, new layer again. I'm not going to worry about the background too much, because this is what we call a spot illustration. It's just the girl, and I'm just going to block in a colour for the background. Doing backgrounds can be one of the hardest things. They actually help bring an image out. I like to do them even if you got nothing on the screen like this, because a big white space to me looks empty, whereas even if you just fill it in with a little bit of colour like this, you get something back. So what I've done there is I've just added an overlay to the image, and what that's done is given it that kind of textured look that I like. I'm very keen to always sign the work, and that's mainly because online theft of artwork is very high, and nobody wants to see their artwork being stolen or used in a way they don't want. But it also gives you a little bit of an identity. If you are looking to become known for your artwork, then putting a recognised signature on there is a great way for people to recognise it as your work. If the work alone doesn't do that, it helps people. If you ever change your style, which artists and illustrators do all the time, then it helps people remember that that is still yours. I'm just going to add a few little touches. And there we go. That is the image finished how I want it to be. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting. Goodbye.